The next chapter is chapter 15, and that is wave. This is the last chapter. So what is wave? It is defined as the motion in which the disturbance in the form of energy is transferred from particle to particle without the actual motion of particle. So what is the important thing? Without the actual motion of particles. So that is known as the wave. Now the wave motion is of two types. What are the types? There are two types. The number one is the transversal waves. The second is the longitudinal waves. So first we'll discuss the transversal waves. The transversal waves. What are the transversal waves? Suppose this is the direction of wave. This is the starting points. Then the particle move either up or down. These are the particles of medium. Suppose we have a rope, and this is fixed, this is free, and if from here we'll start moving up and down that rope, then you will find this kind of waves. So this part is known as crust and this part is known as throw. The movement is in this direction. So what is the transversal waves? So for this we can write that type of motion in which the particle of medium vibrate. Particle of medium vibrate in direction which is perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of waves. So this is the propagation, and the particle of the medium, these are the particles which are here or here, these are the particles. So they will move either up or down, where it will form crest and throw. When it will form crest and throw, that wave formation is known as the transversal wave. Now the second definition, that is the crust. That part of the transverse wave which is slightly raised, what does it mean? Just see it. This is the original position when all the particles are here, 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 here. When it will move, these particle move upward direction. So this is, I have written that part of the transverse wave which is slightly raised. It is raised. The next is throw. That part of the transverse wave which is slightly depressed. This one. This is raised, this is depressed. The next, the parameter defining transverse waves. Important parameters which defines transverse wave. In this category, the very first is the wavelength. So it is a simple definition that the distance between two successive crests or two successive crests or through. This is the crust, this is the crust. So this is the wavelength lambda. Either this one or this one. This is the wavelength. The second is the time period. This is the time taken to complete one revolution. If we start from here to here, it is the time period T. In this category, the third is frequency. Time period T, wavelength lambda. The frequency, the number of oscillation per second. The number of oscillation per second is known as the frequency of the vibration. According to the formula, this is the frequency and it is 1 upon T and the unit of the time is second. So the unit of the frequency is hertz. What is 1 hertz? What is 1 hertz? Now we are going to define that. the frequency of vibration is said to be 1 hertz when it will come 1, when this is 1 second. So it means the frequency of the vibration is set to be the 1 hertz when one vibration is complete in 1 second. So one vibration, the definition is the frequency, the number of oscillations per second. So if the one cycle is to be completed in 1 second, then it is to be known as the 1 hertz. Wavelength, time period, frequency. Now the fourth is wavelength, time period, frequency. Now the velocity. The velocity is to be defined, that is the wavelength per time, or because 1 upon t is the frequency, so the velocity, that is equals to the frequency into lambda, where v is the velocity, this is the frequency, and lambda is the wavelength. And the fifth point, which is important, that the velocity of transverse wave is a, the velocity of the transverse wave in a stretched string is given by, this is the velocity, that is under root t by m, where t is the tension in a string and m is the mass per unit length. The mass per unit length, which is also known as another name, that is the linear density. Now the second category, it was the transverse, and now we are going to discuss longitudinal waves. What are the longitudinal waves? The type of motion in which particles of medium vibrate in the transverse, the vibration is up and down, and in this the longitudinal, this is in the to and fro. So the type of motion in which the particles of medium vibrate in the direction along the direction of propagation of waves. Suppose this is that string This is the direction of wave, and this is either this way or in this way. These are the direction of particles in medium. So this part in the longitudinal wave is known as the compression, and this part in the longitudinal wave is known as rarefaction. Now we'll discuss the compression and rarefaction. The first, the compression. That part of the longitudinal waves which the particles of a medium come closer than their normal position. Next is the rarefaction. In the compression, the particles come closer, and in the rarefaction, the particle moves far away from each other. So we can write that part of the longitudinal wave particle which moves far away from each other in normal position. For example, suppose that we are taking a spring. Suppose this is a spring and this is its normal position. Now what we are doing, from this side we are just pressing towards, this is the fixed side. Now we are giving a pressure, we are pressing this spring. So when we press and when we'll release, then it will vibrate. So in that vibrating conditions, what will be the diagram? That is, when you press and then release. So this is the diagram. It is in the normal position. Now this is the diagram after you release the pressure. So this is the first zone, this is the second zone. So this zone, this zone, this zone, and so on. So this zone and this zone, that is known as compression. When the particles of the medium come closer in comparison to their normal positions. And this is the rarefaction, in which the particles far away in comparison to their normal position. So this is the basic definitions. Now some more discussions as far as the longitudinal waves, that is the parameter defining longitudinal waves. So this is the very first, that is the wave length. The distance between two successive compression or two successive rarefaction is known as the wave length. Number two, we can write whenever a wave travels from one medium to another medium, its frequency always remain same, but only changes in the wavelength and its velocity, because these two things are depends on the medium. So for that purpose it is important one. The third one, you can write that the velocity of the longitudinal wave in solid will be given by, this is the velocity in solids. So it is a direct formula, that is V will be under root of K plus 4 by 3 of N is to be divided by rho, where the K is equals to a constant which is known as bulk modulus. Next, the N will be the modulus of rigidity. Then rho is the density. Next is the fourth. If the solid is in the form of a symmetrical rod. In that case, the velocity of sound will be given by this formula, and that formula is V is equals to under root of y by rho, where V is the velocity, y is the Young modulus, and rho is the density. The next is we are going to find out the formula, that is the Newton's formula of velocity of sound in air. So now we are going to describe the Newton's formula. So we can write that according to the Newton's, whenever a sound travels in air, changes taking place are isothermal in nature. Whenever a compression will form, the heat will be conducted away to the surrounding end. This is for the compression. And whenever a rarefaction will form, the heat will be conducted from surroundings to keep the temperature constant, because the isothermal. So the velocity of sound is given by V is equals to under root of K is the constant that is in the isothermal process. So K iso means the isothermal divided by the density. Let this is equation number 1, where K is the bulk modulus and rho is the density. This is also we can write that K isothermal is equals to minus dP by dV by V, or we can write minus V dP upon dV. This is the formula for the isothermal process. So as we know that according to the equation which we have already studied, according to the equation of an isothermal process. What was that equation? And that equation was the PV is equals to K constant. Now we differentiate this both sides. So P dV plus V dP is equals to 0 because it is the constant. So we can write P dV is equals to minus V dP. From here we are going to find out the value of P, that is V dP upon dV. Let this equation is number 3. Now this is K iso. From equation 2 and 3, what we are seeing that the RHS is same. RHS is same, so the LHS will same. So what is LHS? That is K isothermal is equals to the pressure. Now this has to be put in equation 1, and from where we will find out the velocity, that is the pressure upon the density. This is equation number 4, and in this equation the pressure is P and rho is the density. As we know the standard value of, that is the pressure, the standard value of the pressure is 0.769.8 into Newton per meter square, and the density is equals to, that is in kg per meter cube. When we will put this value here, the velocity value which we will get, it will around 280 meter per second, which is not correct. For this correction we will introduce another thing, that is the Laplace correction, so that this value which is not correct we will find in a correct form. So what is Laplace correction? According to the Laplace correction, the sound travels in air, the changes taking place are adiabatic. In place of isothermal, it will be a adiabatic in nature, and the reason is the air is a bad conductor of heat, so no transmission of heat can be take place by air as a medium. So this will be the correction. In place of the isothermal we are considering that is a adiabatic. So according to the Laplace the velocity of sound in air can be given by, this is the velocity, that is K isothermal. In place of K isothermal it is adiabatic, and it is divided by the density rho. Now take it as 1. So we can write K adiabatic, that is equals to minus dp by dv upon v, and that will be equals to minus v dp upon dv. Now it becomes equation 2. Now as we know that according to the equation of and the process of adiabatic, and adiabatic process, we have the equation pv raised to the power gamma is equals to the constant, where the gamma is equals to cp by zv. Here we can write in this the cp is greater than cv, which means the gamma is greater than 1. So we can write pv raised to the power gamma is equals to constant. Now we are going to differentiate this. Differentiate both sides. So that is p, it becomes gamma v raised to the power gamma minus 1 with dv plus v raised to the power gamma dp, it becomes RHS 0. From here we are taking v raised to the power gamma common. So in the first part it becomes p gamma by v into dv plus gamma common dp is equals to 0. Which means either this should be 0 or this should be 0. We have the product, either this bracket will be 0 or this bracket will be 0. Let now consider. We have written on the last page, that is v raised to the power gamma p gamma by v with dv plus dp is equals to 0. Either this is to be 0 or this is to be 0, which means v raised to the power gamma is 0 or p gamma by v dv plus dp is equals to 0, because it is not possible that v raised to the power gamma, which means this will be 0. From this equation we are going to find out the ultimate equations. P gamma by v into dv plus dp is equals to 0. So from here p gamma is equals to minus of v dp upon d v. It is equation number 3. Now we have from equation 2 and 3, we have the equation 2, it is k adiabatic, this is minus v dp by dv. From here it is also we are getting v dp by dv. So the RHS is same, so the LHS, because the RHS is same, so the LHS will be same. So what is the LHS? This is the k adiabatic, and that is p raised to the power gamma, which means k adiabatic is equals to p gamma, which means the velocity in the adiabatic it is equals to, that is K adiabatic divided by rho. The K adiabatic is equals to V gamma by rho under root, which means under root of gamma and under root of P by rho. Let this is equation number 4, where let gamma is equals to 1.41. So from here we are getting under root of 1.41 with P by gamma. When we standard pressure and density value as we did earlier, so the velocity will be around under root 1.41. when we will put this value P by rho, standard pressure, and the density, the P upon rho under root after putting standard values. The under root, it will be 280, and this 280 will be put here. So the velocity is 1.41 into 280, which will come around 3.22 meter per second, which is the corrected value. So this is the importance of the Laplace correction in place of the isothermal medium we are considering here. This is a adiabatic system. Now the factors affecting the velocities. This is the effect of density. At constant pressure, the velocity of sound is inversely proportional to the 1 upon density under root, which means if the first velocity in this relation and the second velocity is in this relationship, so that the ultimate ratio will be rho 2 by rho 1, and this is under root. The second is, that is the effect of temperature. As we know, that is we are considering after the Laplace correction, that is the adiabatic process. From that we have earlier find out equation for the velocity, that is under root gamma pressure upon density. Now according to the ideal gas equations, we have PV is equals to nRT. From here nRT by V now put in first. When we put in first the velocity and gamma RT upon rho V. So from here it is under root n gamma RT upon rho V. Let it becomes the capital M, because it is the volume and it is the volume density. So the product M is equals to rho V. So it becomes under root n gamma RT by m. So it means the velocity n is constant, gamma is constant, r is constant, m is constant. So it is directly proportional to the temperature. If it is the velocity is v1, or you can write velocity directly proportional to the temperature, because the n, gamma, r and m are constant. So it is the direct relationship. Now we will compare for the two velocities. As we have written v